was your income you're doing monthly before you signed up with AR?
I had months where it was like 12K, 7K, 8K, 9K. I had an insurance issue, which we obviously have really brought down. But it was variable. Like on average, I think it was just around under 10K based on like my highs and lows.
Four months inside AR, like what are we looking at now? Welcome back to AR Podcast. My name is Mike Crowson, the CEO and co-founder of AR Funnel. And today I have Jack Sorenson with us, who is an engineer who also does coaching for people also in the engineer space, because who knows engineers better than the man himself, who is one. Obviously, we know that people have different pain points, problems, and every type of individual is different, because we can't say that like all moms have the same issues, right? But what type of mom we're working with? So I love your niche and everything that you do about it. And man, your content, if you don't know, you should go check him on Instagram. But his content is so humorous to that corporate environment that it is just catching a lot of traction right now. And so I love to see it, because we're diving into fully who we are and the life that we've been a part of, man. And so just want to say first and foremost, thanks for coming on today, Jack.
Stoked to be here, dude. Thank you.
Man, so like, where are you currently residing in the world?
I live in St. Petersburg, Florida. Moved around a lot recently, though, all over the place.
So why did we settle on good old Florida?
Why? I mean, it's nice to not pay as much on taxes. Also, just surrounding myself with the right people. So St. Petersburg is a bit of a, entrepreneurship hub, and I'm from middle of nowhere, Massachusetts, north of Boston, and then I moved to Michigan, middle of nowhere in Michigan, back to Massachusetts, into New York City. And I kept kind of falling into places where I just didn't align with the people around me. So we had some family down in the Tampa area and said, there's a hub with entrepreneurs. Let's just move there. And now I just feel more aligned than ever because I'm actually around that energy all the time. So St. Petersburg now. So,
right on.
Yes, sir.
So really what you're just all that to say, you're a snowbird.
I guess. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm flying down here, baby.
That's it.
Yeah, if you will. Sure. Call me that. I am. Yep.
I'll be in Tampa tomorrow, actually.
Oh, right.
For the Tampa Pro Show. So
I'll
be
there
essentially all weekend. So had to might connect. But
hell yeah.
Yeah, dude. I'm excited to dive in here. So engineer.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you get into being an engineer in the first place?
Because my dad told me to. Which is arguably why most people get into engineering, I guess, is that like your parents have this perception of like what you should be. But naturally, I was very good with numbers. It's just the way my mind think. I was a tinkerer, so like just that dude obsessed with like building stuff, Legos, and I really enjoyed physics. Bit of an adrenaline nerd, so like I just loved motion and understanding it. So like in school, I just naturally, like when I was a kid, kind of went towards those physics and the math stuff. I was just very good at it. So my dad just like engineer. So he just kind of put that in my brain. You're going to be an engineer and you like cars, engineer. So that's kind of why I went into that way of, work and career and everything like that. So
what does your dad do?
He's a consultant in the energy space. Very different.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. It's interesting hearing him because he's, he is technically an entrepreneur himself, but he didn't want me to be one, maybe because he's like, I don't want him to go through what I go through on a day to day. But yeah, so he's just like, you're going to go the super traditional, high paying engineering routes.
And so then I said, engineer.
Sir, yes, sir. Went into an engineering school, and yeah, the rest is history. So, but yeah, mainly just it was his influence, as it is for most people, I guess. But yeah,
sure. So what itch came along that made you get into fitness as an engineer?
Yeah. So I had a severe issue with alcohol and binge eating for a bit. I gained like 60 pounds in a single year. So I was a former athlete. I played college baseball and college rugby. And then up until then, I played hockey, soccer, baseball. So I could have gone to college for any of those sports, but I got injured. I had to get elbow surgery, got Tommy John, basically tennis elbow. And so it just like all of my sports went gone, poof. And so that was kind of like my whole identity at that point. So when I lost that, I just couldn't stop. I guess the next best thing after becoming a college athlete was becoming a professional drinker. So that was great. So couldn't stop every day. Couldn't go to sleep without alcohol in my system. Couldn't not binge. So I gained 60 pounds in a single year. And you obviously know calories. That's a ridiculous amount of weight very, very quickly. So, you hit rock bottom. And then I literally never touched the gym before this point. And once I got to that rock bottom point, I actually got into my drift car, which kind of started this like trend of like me working on myself, I guess. And then I found the gym, and then I lost 80 pounds. So I went up to, I was 140, 150 or 160 going into college, went up to 220, and then went down to 140. So just bounce up and down. But yeah, I got obsessed, man. Like once I lost the weight, I went fully sober. It really opened to my eyes of what I'm actually capable of what I could put my body through, my mind through. And it just opened this massive, just this path for me where it's like, I just got obsessed, you know? So got certified, if that means anything, doesn't really mean anything in today's world of fitness, but I just nerded out, man. I love information. So I just massive rabbit hole of all of the everything health and fitness related. And then when I moved to Michigan, started coaching people on the side in the engineering world. I was in the automotive industry, and I was coaching everyone in the freaking workplace. Everyone's wondering how I look the way I do when I'm walking around. You know, little do they know I was 220 pounds recently, but like, you know, I just was helping everybody, writing programs. And so that kind of just created this massive love for helping people in the health space. So, but yeah.
So what's dad say from engineer to entrepreneur?
He said I wasted my degree, man. So that's first thing he said. He's like, what the hell are you doing? You're wasting your degree. You got all this debt for no reason. I mean, all this debt that is, it's brutal, obviously, but yeah, he wasn't super supportive of it. Now he is, I guess, because I'm a bit more successful than when I started.
Yeah,
But
proving yourself right.
yeah, exactly. But so interesting too, because he literally is an entrepreneur, I guess, in a way. So it's like wild. But yeah, wasn't super fond of it, but it's obviously paid off. And I coach engineers, so it's like I still use the degree. It's just different now, right?
Yeah. Now,
So
couldn't you always just go back and get an engineering job?
instantaneously, yeah, like at any point in time, probably.
Take the leap.
I literally, when I went all in on the business and I betted on myself, I applied to a bunch of jobs, like panic applied, and I got like 2. And so like it's like, oh, I got these 2 high paying jobs that are literally more than I literally were getting paid, but then I'm going back into working going in office every single day. Or, oh wow, I just landed 2 new clients. This might actually work. I'm gonna give this a shot. And so that was 3 years ago now. So which is
That's
wild.
awesome.
Yeah, man.
I love it. My dad was kind of similar, but not really. I didn't know that you could be an accountant until I was in college. My dad told me you're going to be a plumber, you're going to be a carpenter, you're going to be an electrician. You can do anything, because he owned his own construction company. He was like, you can just do whatever you want, son. You can do all these things. Never once he was like, you can go get a job.
Go get a job. Yeah.
I
Maybe a
didn't.
tradie.
It was never
Yeah.
even a thought, was to go work for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I had a better mentor than my father on running a business and how that worked, being that construction, old school, work for yourself, maybe 2 employees. It's like, that's not scalable. You just work your ass off the whole time, right? Which is also why he was like, hey, you're going to go to college and you're going to pay for it. And you're like, that's what you got to go do. So essentially that was the mindset I had going in. But it was just so crazy to me. He was like, I taught you how to use your hands, but now go use your mind. And that sat with me for such a long time. What my dad taught me was work ethic. And he taught me the ability that at any given moment, I need to go get a job. I could walk over to this construction company over here and say, give me 30 minutes on this piece of equipment, and I'll show you I'm worth my money. Because I can jump on any piece of heavy equipment, and in 30 minutes, I will run it as good as anybody else that's been doing it for 20 years, because I did it for 15 years growing up. And so it's just a skill set that I'll always have.
Yep.
And he gave me that ability to, like, worst case, you can go do this.
Exactly.
So it's just very interesting, the dynamic of fathers wanting the best for you in their own essential way, whether that is don't be like me or follow my footsteps, right? Either one of them, both are coming from love. But from the engineers, how many of them have the same struggle that you did of getting to the routine, of getting to where it's like the nightly events of the corporate things, the drinking, there's the bad habits? How many people struggle with that in the engineering world?
It's a lot of the population, you know. Like when I was walking through the building, like I was maybe one of 2 people in the company that was actually like sort of in shape. You know what I mean? Like everyone struggles with it because it's just part of the culture. It's like, that's how you get social, because during the day you're working, you know, you just head down, especially I was in the software engineering space a bit. So it's like everyone's just desks, cubicles, sitting down, all that. So that's like where you get social, is like the takeout at lunch, you know, after hours going to, getting happy hour, getting dinner. It was just part of the culture. It's what they did. So pretty much everyone, a good population. So.
And so for the engineer that comes to you that is now 40 pounds overweight, what are the first two things that you tell them they need to do?
To be honest, most of the time people have like this, it's engineers are very analytical and they get in this very toxic cycle of knowledge, right? Where they just, I mean, you've even seen it with me already with certain things, but you're so good at absorbing information, being analytical, understanding things, but you never take action. Zero, right? You're very good at taking action at something that you are hired to do, you make money for, but they have a hard time taking action on themselves because they're most of the time the career is their identity. It's just what they do. It's their thing. So anything outside of that seems like, why would I spend time with that? It doesn't make me money. It doesn't help me with my career, right? Like their identity is attached to, and their worth is attached to their career. So that's like the first avenue is like, okay, like how do we actually take action for ourselves for the first time ever? Because like I'm talking to people that have been in their ways for decades of just like neglect. Like it's even people like, oh, back in my college days, and they're like 40 or 50, right? It's like, yeah, that was 30 years, like that's, they've been stuck that long. So it's like people can't expect to go, hey, here's a 4 to 5 day split. Here's this perfect macro profile. Here's these 10K steps. Like that'll set them up to failure, right? These people, you have to meet them where they're at. Like, hey, dude, like literally one a week is like better than what you're doing the month before. So let's start there. Let's start with daily movements. Let's try to do a little bit more than before, and then slowly stack with time. And all of a sudden they're like, how am I doing 3 to 4 workouts a week? How am I doing this and that? I'm like, well, we started with a small amount, built your foundation, and then built them up, right? They're not the type of person where I can just give them a program and they'll just do it because they don't know how to fit it into their day. They don't know how to think that way. So I guess that's more than two things, but yeah.
I love that you say just do something. It's just the habit of just doing something. Because basically what you're saying is most of the engineers that you work with are doing nothing.
Literally zero. Yeah. Yeah. And they're like hypothetically eating healthy. I eat healthy. And like, it's a salad a couple times a week. Oh, I eat healthy. Oh, I don't eat that much. We've heard it a shit ton, right? It's everywhere. But we know that's never true. And we know they're not eating healthy because it's a game of averages, and health is a game of averages, same as everything, I guess. And that's what's
and even healthy still doesn't take consideration caloric density.
No,
because
exactly.
eating healthy,
right?
You can have salads and then lots of avocado, and it's like your fat
and
intake is still
a whole lot of Caesar
high.
dressing, dude. That's what I see all the time. It's like, oh, I'm eating a healthy salad. It's like, okay, so it's a ton of Caesar dressing. It's like 3 hard-boiled eggs on top. It's also half of an avocado. There's no any protein on top of that. You're like, okay, so you just had 600 calories of just straight fat, at least. Okay, cool. With a little bit of lettuce with on the side, but it's crazy. Yeah.
So most of the engineers you work with, you said that are going to be in the cubicle setting where it's the same monotonous routine day after day after day. How do you break that routine?
Like I said, it's like small incremental change and opening up their eyes to like what they actually can do. So like they see the end of their day, like their day ending when they go home, like it's done, the work stops. Right. And we have to say, okay, cool, your career stopped, but like now we got to put time to yourself and open them up to like creating a big enough why of like, hey, I'm doing this to take care of myself because blank, right? Is it like I want to be longer for my family, or I want to be able to keep up with my kids? Most of the time there's a pain point in their personal life that we can kind of attach a why to. So now we can start getting them to take some small action, but it's really small incremental change. You know what I mean? Where it's like, hey, we're just like after work, we go for a 30-minute walk with the fam. It sounds silly, but it's like that. Do you have to just stack? Because they don't know how to take action for themselves. They have zero idea of how to do that. So like throwing a bunch of workouts at them, they have no idea how to do that. They don't know how to make time. And so me just being like a hoorah coach would be, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you don't want it bad enough? It's like they do want it. They just don't know how to bring it in yet, right? They have no idea because they don't know how to take action outside of their job and then doing the, whatever they got to do to keep the lights on at home, essentially. So it's a small incremental change. It's how I slowly build them up. And then, think about it, right? Someone that's at 0 and then slowly doing more steps across a week out of nowhere, on top of their food more and eating more healthy choices, and then are working out 1 to 2, and then they work their way up to 3 by month 3 or 4. It's like, that's a different person. They just dropped 20 pounds, and they haven't even, it's not even that hard. They're like, how is this even possible? So you just been consistent for the first time in your life. You weren't doing anything before. So doing anything is better than nothing. And that does a lot for someone that literally is at 0. Right. And you've seen it time and time again with people too. Right. So.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So, as the guy that focused on helping engineers, what's been the biggest success story you've seen?
Success story? I mean, I've had someone like lose 140 pounds, but for him, he kind of figured it out. It was for him, it's like for him, it was finding an activity he actually liked because there was some pushback with some like trying to go for like upwards of 4 to 5 workouts a week. So I said, okay, we're just going to do two. And then he loved basketball, right? So he's a bigger dude, so weight flew off, but he loved basketball because he grew up playing it, right? So then like I'm like, okay, sounds good. So if we play basketball like after work, more often than not, and it's just something you do with your friends and it's social hour, let's just, do you think you keep that up? And he's like, yeah, 100%. So then we just did that for literally like a year and a half. He drops like 100 pounds, and then the last 40 pounds was saying, hey, actually, I want to start going in the gym more. I'm feeling really good. Like he's obviously starting to really see the change. And then we started ramping up the gym, and that's where he got the last 40 to 50 off, and he looked like a completely different person, right? Dude went from being really like in danger to, oh, I have vascularity in my arms. That's crazy, right?
All is life.
Yeah, ball literally is life for him. It changes life. But it's the big thing for, especially with engineers and even people like day to day. It's like find like some kind of movement that actually aligns with you. Sometimes the workouts, the monotonous bodybuilding workouts, is setting some people up for failure. It's important to put on muscle. That's super important, but it doesn't need to be the whole strategy, right? Especially with people that, that's what they're not trying to be a bodybuilder. They're just trying to look better, be a
Sure.
little bit more confident. So
Let's dive in that. What is it? What is the average engineer's goal when they start working with you?
lose 30 pounds. It's like the 20 to 40 pounds, the stubborn belly fat. I want to lose the gut. Okay. It's like all the visceral fat, basically, that's more or less it. They don't really care to be like six pack shredded. You know what I mean? They just want to be, no longer this gut. They want to feel confident when they're taking their shirt off, that their shirt's no longer getting jutting out from their stomach, have a little bit muscularity up top, but it's really all it is. And then it's more rooted in the, hey, I'm like winded going upstairs. I'm winded keeping up with my kids, and when you start opening their eyes to like, hey, if we stay down this path, like, mortality, all these things, longevity, like it's going to come to bite you in the ass longer down the line. And that's scary, right? Especially for them, where they're like, most of the time an engineer's like, I do this career for my family, for my whatever. It's like this for them, for them, for them. It's like, okay, well, will you live for them? Because that's what we need to do. So it's more routed in like that emotional connection with their family and just having more energy. And obviously, like they start to see, holy crap, my focus, my energy's better in work. I'm more productive. So then with progress, it starts attaching to other things too, right? But yeah, it's never like it's six pack shredded. Sometimes you have that like that person that does, but most of the time someone that wants to get really lean, they've already maybe been a little bit further along than the person that's zero. You know what I mean? So
Sure.
there's levels to it.
Absolutely. What is one thing that one of your engineering clients has actually taught you?
Sometimes I over explain, where like I like to over educate. I've gone through times where I just kind of blabber, you know, and when you over educate, that can cause a lot of inaction because they don't know what to do. So it actually happened pretty early on in my coaching career where I gave too much resources. I dumped too much at them at the beginning. And they're like, dude, I can't, this is so much information. Like, I can't, what am I supposed to do with this? And they're like, oh yeah, you're right. Like I'm telling you information that doesn't matter for a year of you taking action. So it came to a point where I simplified and I ripped it apart, where like I stopped doing a ton of resources where it's like the person has access to all these things, because that's not relevant information for someone that's at zero. Right. They need to know it's, so I ripped it apart, simplified, and the amount of resources I provide is what people need at zero. And then with time, I educate further and further. Like I have a structure to things, but that's probably the biggest change. I mean, that's actually a massive change, right? It's like sometimes less is more for people that struggle to take action, because decision fatigue is a thing. Too much information is a thing. And when you're someone like, in that space, like engineering, where you're just so used to taking in information with zero action, right? Other than outside of your work, right? Like I was just setting them up for failure. So less info, more just, hey, do this, focus on this. And then this is what, when we get to this level, this is what we're going to do. We're going to talk about what to do next after that. You know what I
I
mean?
think that's such good self-awareness.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that you probably grasp how big a deal that is.
I mean, I
But
do now, but yeah.
yeah, as you get better as a coach, right? It's like, I want to just like knowledge bomb you. And it's like, you're actually analysis by paralysis me.
Yep. Yeah. You're literally
Too
causing them to
much.
freeze. You're literally causing people to freeze. Yeah.
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 I don't need to
And then,
explain why I need you to walk. I just need you to walk.
yep. Yeah, just walk. And you'll and what's cool is they figure it out for themselves, like why? Because like, oh wow, I'm noticing these changes.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like you answer the questions when you get the question instead of explaining a question that they never had.
Exactly. And that's literally it. And I when I first started the coaching and creating, this business, like I had a full blown course. I was like, engineers, life change. This is what you got to do. And I
Yeah.
had like one person complete it, and then a bunch of people that was like, they watch it for a little bit. I'm like, oh my God, like no one would watch it because it's just too much information, dude.
Mhm.
Like it's too much.
Yep.
And that's okay. And I've learned a lot. And now people, like, the success rate is so high because it's just someone is getting more and more equipped
Yeah.
as they go further along. They don't need to know they don't need to know information that is not relevant to
Yeah.
them just yet. You know what I mean? Unless they
Yep.
have the question, I guess, but that's okay. But yeah.
I love it. Well, dude, so how long you been a part of AR now?
Oh, baby. Couple months, 2 to 3 months. Is it
3
three?
months?
2 to 3. I feel like onboarding for me was like, like maybe I finished it in like 2 months ago. I want to say like 2.5 months ago, maybe. Do you have it on your back end right there? Do you see
I'm
it?
pulling it up. Seeing with the
For
good
me, my
CRM system, you can track
onboarding
everything.
was, I overbuilt the crap out of my check-ins and my automations. I nerded out
Of
so
course you
hard.
did.
Yeah. I think Felicity was literally like, this
April
might
13th.
be April 13th. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So a couple months back, she literally said to me that like you might have built one of the most complex automations we've ever seen from a client. I'm like, that checks out.
Yeah. Yeah, I overcomplicated this. Yeah, I did that. Thank you.
Yeah, I did that. It works good. It works out cool. I have the
Yeah,
amount of if
until
else
one thing
statements in
breaks
that
and all of a
thing.
sudden it's like, yeah,
Nope.
simple scales,
Everything
complexity
everything already
fails.
broke. Everything already broke. We fixed those.
Yep. Yep. I love that what we're able to do is like, hey, here's what we suggest. And then you have the freedom to come in and add to that or request things to be built on their behalf. I think a lot of people either don't do enough or it's like, I
Mhm.
just want my application, my bio. It's like, that's the bare minimum, dog.
Yeah.
And then you have the others that like, I need it to be perfect. And
Yeah.
it's like, based on what?
Yeah.
Like, tell me the experience level that you have to where you tell me why you need all of this. Or is this just your own mind in theory? Because
Mhm.
it's like what I build is successful. I say I, as in we, like we
Yeah.
know this is good. And like, so please justify like the numbers, statistics, and why you want to do it like that. I
Yeah.
typically try to tell people is like, look, man, you're the master at what you do. We're the masters at what we do. You handle you. Let me handle this. You'll be just fine.
Yeah. I mean, it's
And
like a client
typically
joining
that's
in
like
coaching, dude.
really great relationship there. Otherwise, it's like you delay onboarding, as you did, right? It's like we basically, I was like, I want to just tweak this, tweak this, tweak this, tweak this. It's like, how about we just start?
Yeah.
Then we can tweak as we go.
Yeah. I tweaked a little, but hey, you know what? It made it so I could come out guns blazing. So that's one
Totally,
thing,
right? Which we love.
Yeah.
And then you also
It's
came out to a workshop as well, which we're going to get into in a second.
Yep.
But dude,
Yes,
like
sir.
what? April 13th, you signed up. What was your biggest hesitation before actually signing up?
I think for me, it was more of just actually seeing where my problems lie, and I saw enough of your content and seeing enough pain points from my end as a coach, because like the way I grew my coaching up to this point was entirely networking and referral based. And so like I got very good at getting on the phone and networking with people, and I would do keynote speaking for mastermind groups and business groups, and like it worked, but it was so manual. It required me all the time, and it was very hard to track. And so there was just enough times where I don't know how many leads I have. There's enough times that I don't know how many potential clients I could get based on these metrics, because it was just like firing from the hip, and I've known enough people that's worked with AR, that I'm like, you know what, I need an actual system. I'm lacking a system. Mr. Engineer over here is lacking a system to actually capture data. And I mean, we can go into the whole identity shift of like me working more specifically with engineers since joining AR. But yeah, it's just, I had enough of not seeing data and actually knowing where to go. I was just firing from the hip too much, which I understood, like, okay, if I want to stay where I'm at, where I could keep doing what I'm doing. Oh, but if I want to grow this thing to be kind of a big deal, and change my life, change my, coaches' lives, and, all that, like I need a group of people like yourself to grow with, and then a system that can back it up.
Totally. So you
Mhm.
talked about, getting more dialed into your niche, which is engineers.
Yeah.
Do you feel like niching down and getting really complete on that has allowed you to be more comfortable in the content creation and the clarity of where your business is going?
Oh, dude, it's night and day, man. It's like absolutely insane how much easier content is because, when you're just a general coach or general fitness guy, it's like how many you can make content about anything and everything. And because there's so many options, you don't do any. Right. And then you have no direct person you're ever speaking to. It's just going and hoping something goes viral. And then how do you know someone's going to actually be an ideal person? It's like some little kid could just like watch your stuff, you know? Um, and so it just made content just like I could just grab my phone and make like 3 pieces right now. Before I couldn't do that. I'd have to like plan, got to be talking to Claude and whatever. And now I'm like, holy crap, I lived this. I know this life so well. Why have I not made content about this 24/7? And now it's like I actually have fun with it. I enjoy it. Easier. I'm connecting with people and I can see the people who like my stuff. I'm like, wow, that's actually my ideal person. Wait a minute, because Instagram's algorithm works good now, like pretty good now that you just got to somewhere in your copy
Yep.
mention your person. And I'm like, oh, wow, my ideal person is seeing this for the first time. Wild.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you heeded that advice and you went with it because I love a good niche, especially a
Yeah.
demographic niche like this, because does become so easy
Yeah.
to target. It becomes easy to do SEO. It becomes easy to make content, fix pain points, problems,
Hmm.
right? All the way down to whenever you say, this is my client, John, it's like, this is my client, John, who's a aerospace engineer, a software engineer. It's like, we're just doubling down even on the
Yep.
result side into SEO so that other engineers go, wow, you help people just like me.
Hmm.
And then they allows them to feel the content, not just see the content, right? And so what were things that you had to do that you hated before signing up with AR?
I hated content.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I wouldn't say I love it now, but it's more enjoyable because I actually like bring my own personality and I can lean into
Yeah.
it. But I really despise the content creation space because I was frustrated with the fitness space. I don't even feel like I'm in that much of the fitness space all of a sudden for some reason,
Yeah.
just because I talk to engineers. Because I'm in
Yeah.
the engineer, it's just different. So that was definitely something. Yeah, just creating content. I also just hated gathering numbers because I had to do everything so manual that I'm like, dude, this takes me way too long on a Monday to look at them, so I'm just not going to do it. And
Yeah.
like, what? That's the terrible, terrible way to go about things. You're over here laughing. Hey, dude, the fact that it worked as long as it did, it was absolutely hilarious to me. But like as a business owner and like seeing it where even I'm at post
Mhm.
workshop, post working with you guys for 3 months, I'm like, I can't believe I did that for that long. Like that's crazy, But yeah,
So
just
obviously
that. That's
when
crazy.
you came on, right, like the expectation of all that other stuff outside the software wasn't expected, correct?
Correct. Yeah, yeah.
And so it's
I knew
like,
you guys
I'm
were
here
going
to
to
get a
help me.
software to help me do this. And then what are some other things that you got from us that was
Mhm.
kind of unexpected outside from the workshop itself? But just like through your account manager or through talking to the team, like what were things that you got that was like, hey, that was like really unexpected, but dang, I didn't realize I needed that.
Yeah. Yeah, so before the workshop, it was definitely just clarity of the niche, our chat, um, and just understanding that, like, if you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. That was huge for me, right? Getting that before the workshop. So, like, before the workshop, I was like, okay, wow, content is already kind of flowing better. This is way easier. And also, like, just you guys having your library of all the information. Yeah, yeah, I nerd out on it. Fine. I watched a lot of your stuff, but it was so clear because, like, my sales, dude, like, the sales process with Dan and everything, like, I hopped on a bunch of these calls before the workshop and holy crap, like, I mean, every call I closed, every single one, because I learned this new process. So it's like, at first, yeah, at face value, sure, it's some systems here and there, but there's literal mentorship in every avenue that you need to take everything to the next level. That's before the mentorship in itself, or the workshop, excuse me. So yeah, content and then sales, marketing, literally seeing numbers, Baker helped with that. Like, it's just, and the client retention with from Felicity and just understanding like the client journey, like all of that before the workshop, all of it.
So basically what you're saying is you felt like you got a mentorship, but would you say that you paid mentorship pricing?
No, no, as someone that's been in it, no. That's what it's dude, the value is ridiculous, you know? And I paid for the workshop up front, right? So it's like, but like the value's nuts because I've been in other masterminds
Mhm.
and they give you a bunch of mindset porn and then they also give you a bunch of courses to do, but then they don't have a system attached to it to see data. They're like, okay, here's your hypotheticals, go do it. And so you're like, okay, and you take action and then you feel lost. But like when you have the guidance attached to a system, it's so dangerous. It's like you actually can like look at numbers and you can actually tell me, hey Jack, so look at this, this in GHL, boom, boom, boom. And just like I actually have direction versus, I mean, what software do I, it's nuts, man. Yeah, it's crazy value.
So
Ridiculous.
what was your income you're doing monthly before you signed up with AR back in, let's
It
say,
was,
March?
yeah, it was pretty variable. You know, I had months where it was like 12K, 7K, 8K, 9K. I had a churn issue, which we obviously have really brought down already,
Sure.
like pretty substantial. But it was variable. Like on average, I think it was just around under 10K based on like my highs and lows, you
And so
know? And
now here
then
we are, what, 30 days post workshop,
yeah.
4 months inside AR. Like,
Mhm.
what are we looking at now?
We just hit a 15K month.
Nice.
So yeah. So like on the come up. Yeah, literally just yesterday had another painful. So yeah,
Mhm.
we're at a 15K. Yes, sir.
And what's your MRR at now?
I think the MRR when I was going into AR was on the low. It was like 7 to 8 or something, but I think it's around 9 now. So it's up. Yeah,
Cool.
9 or 10.
Love that.
Yep.
We
Yep.
love a
So
good
we're
MRR business. You know that.
yeah, baby. Yeah, man. I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome. It's been a pretty phenomenal change very quickly. So
So what would you tell the coach that is doing, let's say, that 10 grand a month?
mhm.
Why should they come to a workshop? Why should they sign up with AR? And why is it something that you suggest comparison to a different mastermind or mentorship you've been a part of?
I mean, if you have evidence you've gone to 10K, likely the chance you're not where you want to be is a marketing issue, a leads issue, or like an offer issue. And when you go to something like the workshop, especially, like you get so clear on each of those of like where's your actual bottom line lying, instead of just like throwing a bunch of volume at random stuff. It's like you get so clear. And I think that's what my biggest feedback from the workshop and joining AR is just clarity, dude. Like I'm so clear. I'm like, okay, like I have all this information. I know exactly what I need to do with every single point. For someone at 10K, like likely it's just a clarity issue and you don't actually see your true bottleneck of what's causing you to get to where you want to go. If you're stuck at 10K over and over again, right? I don't think like after this month, I don't think I'll ever get under 10K again, to be honest.
How's that
You
feel?
know, pretty badass.
I
Pretty
love
cool.
that, dude. I love that for you so much, Jack. That's awesome.
Feels
I
very good, dude.
So that would you say is that in the last 5 months, 4 months, like, and probably for the next 6 months going forward, like your word is clarity?
Yeah, I would get 100%. Yeah, that's without a doubt.
Awesome.
From the advice you guys gave me, the numbers, literally, I've never felt this clear about the business in a long time, which is really cool to see. I don't know, maybe because I was fighting my identity a little bit, and I was like, I don't know
Yeah.
where I actually lie as a coach. But
Yeah.
when you niche down, when you actually see numbers, when you have people that are literally breaking down your business, and hey, like this is where your problem is, right here. Put a
Yes.
volume there. Figure that out. Game over. Figure it out. Boom. It's just like, you know, and at the end of the day, this is a very simple business when you just look at it like that, because like simplicity kills, right? And then that's
Yep.
what even engineers do is like you want to simplify until it's so easy to solve that said problem. And so that's what we did. And yeah, fucking clarity, baby.
I love it.
Good.
Well, Jack, dude, man, I
Mhm.
appreciate you coming out, man. I hope we get
Yeah.
to get together, get a coffee or something this coming weekend.
Yes.
Dude, if there's
Sick.
anything that you need from us, you know where to find us, dude. Appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you, man. Hell yeah.